got it? Okay. Find it?
Yes.
He's back there.
Oh, he's hiding out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
He's on his phone.
He's in his zone.
He's in La La Land.
Thank you for signing. And if I pass
Everybody
this.
look at
Because I've been looking at it.
So I'm going to ask you
Oh,
to
no.
read what I got. Okay.
my word. He was just maybe talking about people. Flyers for each.
You and I had the show.
I believe so.
You'll do good.
And we only have a couple minutes, you know.
You'll do good.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. It's time for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, just a reminder to silence your cell phones. We'll start with roll call.
Mayor Sherman.
Here.
Councilor Horton.
Here?
Councilor Quinlan.
Here.
Councilor Scalise.
Here.
Councilor Skiles.
Here.
Councilor Spradlin.
Here.
Councilor Tyree.
Right, we have a quorum. Well, next is approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections for the agenda tonight? If not, I would look for a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the agenda for May 11th.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilor Spradlin.
Yes.
Councilor Skiles.
Yes.
Councilor Scalise.
Yes.
Councilor Quinlan.
Yes.
Councilor Horton.
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. All right, that motion passes. Approval of the minutes. Everybody's had a chance to read the minutes of our last regular meeting. Are there any corrections anybody can see? If not, I would look for a motion to approve.
I move we approve the minutes of the regular meeting of April 27th, 2026.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilor Quinlan.
Yes.
Councilor Skiles.
Yes.
Councilor Horton.
Yes.
Councilor Spradlin.
Yes.
Councilor Scalise.
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. All right, next we've got visitors and delegations. We have got Joanne here representing the Breast Rodeo Association and the museum. And we've got some donations. Would you like to come say a few things, anybody, about either of those or both
Sure.
of those?
I just want to come up and thank the council for all their support of the Brush Rodeo Association. Your contribution we would not be able to do without you. And then I did want to introduce, I think everybody knows Chuck Miller, he's our vice president, I'm the president. Johnette Bondi is our treasurer for the rodeo. But we really do appreciate all that City of Brush does for the rodeo. And understanding that some of you might be interested in doing a little bit of volunteering, and we do have that VIP dinner that's attended by the sponsors. And all of you are invited to that. But if you want, you can also help with the serving of the drinks at during the. Yeah, it just went away. That's what happens when you retire and you get older. At the social hour during that VIP dinner where we have all of our sponsors come. So we'd love to have somebody, if you guys are interested in doing that, just let us know. But thank you very much.
Sure. Yes.
That's the important one.
Yes, there you go. Can I shake your hand?
Yes.
Okay.
Dana, I want to jump in a little bit before the museum one.
Uh-huh.
We do have some of our board here. As you guys know, we've kind of been doing a transition where now we do have a paid position that's working at the museum. Donna Harper here, she has been doing a great job. We've been trying to index all of the artifacts and everything in the museum and in the storage room, and it's quite the challenge. She's dove right in and she's getting after it, and we are now into our open hours of the summer, and so we're open Thursday through Sunday from 10 to 2, or 10 to 4, and they're just, it's a great little museum. I think everybody needs to go through it, so, spread the word there. And then on top of that, it has been done by a lot of volunteers, and Joanne has been running the books since I can remember, and then also Steve Rohde here, he has been a worker bee forever, and the museum wouldn't exist as it is without people like him. And so I just wanted to recognize them before we gave them this check. It's really important for the city of Brush to have, to understand its history, and it wouldn't have been possible without someone as dedicated as Steve and all the other volunteers. But Steve has been the spearhead of everything, so I just wanted to recognize him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on over and do a scavenger hunt. That's a challenge.
Is there like a list of things you're looking for?
Yep, we got easy, medium, and hard.
Oh, fun.
But we only got candy to give away.
That's okay.
And I also, I put this edition's newsletter on all the counselors' desks. If you're interested in receiving that monthly, if we got your email, we can send it out. But again, it's another volunteer. He puts a lot of time in doing a pretty thorough newsletter, as you can see, and it will kind of keep you apprised of everything that's going on over there. So again, we have a lot of great people in Brush, and the museum is just, it shows that as it has kind of unfolded. So we're excited that we have someone on staff paid, but these volunteers, you can't replace them, so.
I just want to say thanks to the city for the support that they've lended to the museum all these years, and it's just a privilege to have facilities like that, so thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for everything you do. Did you want to say anything? No? Do you want to go get your check? Thank you.
Can we get a picture of them?
Okay.
We're gonna do a photo. You guys will film up here.
Take pictures. Where you want us?
Right here.
Right here, Dana?
Out in center.
Me too.
Yep.
I don't like pictures. I don't either.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right, now we've got citizen comments. My glasses. Citizens are invited to speak to council on any item that does not have a public hearing scheduled. There's a 5-minute time limit per person unless otherwise noted by the mayor. Please note that no formal action will be taken on an item that is not on the posted agenda due to the open meetings law provision. However, it may be placed on a future posted agenda if action is required. To better assist you with questions, please submit them in writing to the city clerk and someone from staff will respond. Do we have anybody here for citizen comments? All right, just step up to the podium and tell us your name and your address.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Scher. My address is 2045 Fox Hills Road, Erie, Colorado. Good evening, Mayor Sherman and City Council members. As I said, my name is Rebecca Scher. I'm a Director of Development for NextEra Energy Resources. NextEra is one of the largest energy infrastructure companies in the country. We do renewables, we do battery energy storage, natural gas, and nuclear. I'm here tonight because our company, South Platte Solar, has applied to the City of Brush for a watershed district permit as part of our project out there. I know it came up last city council meeting and I wasn't here, so I wanted to just be here tonight to put a face to the project name. I also want to thank the city administrator and Mr. Kollrick for all of the time they've spent with our project to develop, to make sure we're developing the best possible project. We recognize how important the watershed is to the city of Brush and how pure and how wonderful of a watershed it is. And we are committed to building a project that is both safe and continues to protect it for the Brush community and for all of the future time. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you for your staff's time in considering our application.
Thank you for taking the time to be here.
Absolutely.
All right, anybody else? Joanne?
I just have one more quick item. Just wanted to make council aware that it is our 250th year of independence, 150 of the state of Colorado, and we are going to be celebrating that out at the rodeo and trying to add some extra stuff. This year there will be a barbecue on July the 2nd, and that's in thanks to Cargill and in the City of Rush for helping sponsor it. The two have sponsored that. And just thank you very much, and hope you all can come out to the different festivities that we've got going on.
Thank you, Joanne. Anybody else? All right, we will move on to management. First up, we've got the fire department bid for storage building. Chief Yurick.
Evening, Mayor and Council. So just here tonight ask for approval for the storage building. It's been in the work for a few years now. When we first went out to bid, we had a budget of $150,000. The bids came in, they were way over budget. So we took some time, did some revisions to the building, sent it back out, got bids back in. We received 3 bids back in. The lowest bid was from Pumil Builders. It came in at $130,940. However, it did not include the whole scope of the project. So it just included the building and the concrete. It did not include electrical, heating, or the dirt work for the building itself. The next bid was from Hastings Construction. It came in at $147,840 and included the whole scope of the project. And the last bid was from Buildings by Design, and it came in at $239,539, which included the whole scope of the project. So I'm asking for approval for Hastings Construction to construct the new storage building at the station. And if anybody has any questions in regards to that, I'll be more than happy to answer.
What's the timeline?
We would like to get it as soon as possible. There's new energy codes coming down that take effect. When do they-
July 1st.
That take effect July 1st, so we would like to have
Get ahead of that.
everything purchased and in place before we get hit with more expenses.
Very good. Any questions? Anybody want to make a motion?
I move we approve Hastings Construction for the bid of the fire department building.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Counselor Horton,
Yes.
Counselor,
Oh,
Sorry
wait,
to interrupt.
sorry.
Whatever.
Because it is for a dollar amount, can you put a dollar amount not to exceed?
Oh, okay.
What was that dollar amount again?
147,840.
Yes.
All right. I move we approve Hastings Construction to complete the fire department building with a not to exceed of $147,840. Second. And that's hard when it doesn't have 3.
Thank you, Dan. Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Counselor Horton,
Yes.
Counselor Scalise,
Yes.
Counselor Skiles,
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan,
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin,
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. All right, motion passes. Next, we have a public hearing to consider special use permit application to operate a small office-based auto sales business at 222 Colorado Avenue. So I'm going to open the public hearing at this time, and then we've got a staff report from Tyler Curtis.
Right. Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council. I'm going to turn off one of these lights real quick for your viewing pleasure. All right, so as usual, I'm going to go through the staff report that was given to council. I'm a little late, I apologize on that. Go over some basics like I usually do for council, the applicant, as well as the citizens of Brush. So a special use permit, oh, I didn't change the name on that one. It's not Adam Garner, I apologize for the top of that page. It's Amanda Villarreal, requesting a special use permit for operating an auto sales business within a commercial core zoning district. This is the chart from our land use code. It has the use, auto sales, and then the column, the CC, is commercial core. And as you can see, there's an S there indicating that it is a special use required in order to do so. The location is on the west side of the 200 block of Colorado Avenue. The property was a retail floral shop for many years and was converted into office space at the end of 2024, and it now serves multiple businesses and tenants. The applicant's intent is to operate a small office-based auto sales business from office number 6 inside the building. However, the location will not function as a traditional automobile dealership lot. As part of the lease agreement, the property owner has designated one parking spot on the east side of the building for displaying a single vehicle. The primary operation of the auto sales at the location will be done administratively using online tools for coordination and communication of product and financing. The business will operate on an appointment-only basis. So the guidelines for the special use permit are laid out in all those words in our code, but it breaks down into basically those elements there, what a special use permit is, the process involved, the consideration/qualifications for a permit, any conditions, any revocations, and then the timeline. So the first one, essentially, a special use permit is something that the city does define desirable, but there could be a lot of factors involved with the operation. The council says we like it, but we want to make sure that all the necessary interests of the city are taken into consideration before we actually grant a permit for that. The process involved is a public hearing process, and so with that are the required notifications. So those are just screenshots and pictures of the posting on our website, on the site itself, and then the mailings that go out for all property owners within 300 feet of the property itself. And then when it goes into the compatibility of things, or the consideration of things, the compatibility, the conformance of the comprehensive plan, and then the history of the applicant as well. So looking at those in each direction of this property, our commercial operations in every direction, retail, services, and restaurants. And then the zoning all around it is also commercial core, so it's not unique in that characteristic on the impact around it as it pertains to adjacent uses and zoning. And then the commercial core district, as our land use code states, exists to provide a district for those commercial and residential uses that complement one another in such a way as to provide a pleasant living experience in a downtown business environment. So a big part of the considerations for a special use permit is the impacts. So potential ones that I had considered is traffic generation. Given the expectation of only one parking spot for a vehicle for sale, it is not anticipated that the general public will be stopping by to look at the available cars, as anything of substance will require an appointment. Traffic generation is expected to be minimal and primarily be just the applicant. No concerns for noise. There's not going to be any additional lighting. Parking, our code does require that there's one parking space per 1,000 square feet of gross floor area for a auto sales. But given that the office space utilized at the location is just a single office within the building, far less than the 1,000 square feet requirement, the requirements are satisfied. Aside from any parking places specifically designated by the owner to the tenants, the other parking spaces are for customers and tenants as stated in the lease. And the applicant, after reaching out to her, she said that she's basically going to park in the rear of the building, so the one designated parking spot out front, that'll be for the one car for sale that they're going to keep on hand. The other part of this is conformance to our comprehensive plan. Is it compatible with what the community has decided for the direction that we go? And so on the screen are 3 policies and one of our strategies. I won't go through each one of those, but they all point to supporting this type of use within the community of Brush as well as within the downtown area itself. And then we have the history of the applicant. So the applicant has not previously owned any properties that have come to city council or done any kind of development within Brush that would be a factor for us to consider whether for or against the past. So with the permits themselves, if council chooses to go forward with issuing a permit, you can add any conditions that you would like for that essentially cover the health, safety, and welfare of the community. And then if the applicant fails to comply with any of those terms and conditions, essentially that condition for operation will be revoked. And then we can also determine the length of a permit, as well as make the permit specific to the applicant, run with the location, or be transferable. So staff comments, foremost citizen comments actually. We did have a few inquiries come to the city of Brush regarding the special use permit request, but once we let them know the scope of the intent, that it's not your typical car dealership, because they're picturing a car dealership out there in front. They said, how's that going to work? So we said, actually, reset your thinking on what a car dealership looks like. It's just going to be one car out there, and each one of them said, okay, never mind. I'm not concerned about it. So we have not received any formal complaints or support for it from the community. Looking through it, the proposed use at this location is certainly non-conventional for what is typical of an auto sales location, but it does appear to be a creative way to enter the market with modern methods and tools without the significant upfront investments of a larger location, the inventory and other operating costs with a typical dealership. The lease is month to month, which indicates, though it doesn't guarantee, that there is not a long-term commitment to the location for the operation. Signage was mentioned in the application, which the applicant stated that would be a temporary banner placed near the top of the building, which according to the applicant is something that the building owner is planning on doing for all of the tenants. And as a reminder to council for that any kind of temporary signage such as a banner has a 6-month window on it. Otherwise, it's got to be turned into something permanent, or it's got to come down. And on the site, in case you're curious, there will be no mechanical work, no mechanical repairs, or vehicles being serviced on the property as well. So my conclusion, the report would indicate that the special use permit sufficiently meets the requirements necessary for council's consideration for approval, including approval conditions. If desired, council has the ability to add or remove any recommended conditions as part of the approval. So my recommendations are approval for the 222, and simply they be personal to the original applicant. And I know they said only one, but for any reason there's an overlap, there'd be no more than 2 vehicles on the property. That is my report. Are there any questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Do we have the applicant here?
We do.
All right. Hi.
I'm Amanda Villarreal. I don't really have anything to add on to what Tyler said. He covered everything pretty well. I just want to thank Tyler for his time and his help with this process, and thank you guys for your time.
I have a question for you. So do you have other cars that you'll be selling just at a different, where will you keep the other inventory, or how is that going to work?
Most of what we do is online. So we have people that come to us and they ask for a certain car, and we go and we find it and then bring it and sell it to them.
Sell it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's pretty much how we work.
Cool.
Anybody else? No? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Members, this is public testimony. Members of the public have the opportunity to make a statement either in support or in opposition of the application. Anyone addressing council must first come to the podium, state your name and address before making your comments, and complete your information in the log provided. Each party giving testimony will be given one opportunity to speak and must direct all questions regarding the application to the mayor. Do we have anyone here for public testimony on this? Nope. All right. So we'll move on to council deliberations. Does anybody have any comments or anything? Or
Sounds pretty straightforward.
yeah, seems like a
I don't see it being a problem.
good use of the space. All right. So I will look for a motion to close the public hearing.
I move we close the public hearing. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Scalise,
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin,
Yes.
Counselor Horton,
Yes.
Counselor Skiles,
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan,
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. All right. The public hearing is closed. I would look for a motion in response to the application. Either for or against.
I move that we approve the application as presented with the guidelines that Tyler responded to.
Conditions.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Skiles,
Yes.
Counselor Horton,
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan,
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin,
Yes.
Counselor Scalise,
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. All right, that motion passes. Congratulations. All right, so we have another thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Another public hearing on an ordinance. So I will open the public hearing on this ordinance, and we'll have our staff report from Dan Krob.
Thank you, Mayor. Of course, my computer is just now updating. I believe this is for the wildfire resiliency code, is that correct?
This is the penalties imposed for non-felony criminal violations.
Well, I would have given you a way off report.
I guess I could have put that when I opened the public hearing.
That's okay, I'm sorry. At the end of last year, there was a decision called the Camp decision, and what it essentially said is that a municipality cannot prohibit the same or impose a stricter fine for the same behavior that is prohibited at the county or state level. And a couple of towns challenged this under their home rule authority, and they lost, which is why everyone's scrambling to change their code. It really doesn't have a large effect on you guys, but it just says that you will not find anything higher in court than would be fined at the county level for the same offense. And that's really all I have. I can go into more, but I might bore you to tears.
Okay, and we have this ordinance in front of us, and we've talked about it. We've talked about it before. Do we have anyone here for public testimony on this ordinance? And members of the public have an opportunity to make statements either in support or in opposition of the ordinance. It does not look like we have anybody here. So,
I guess I should say that essentially we're just complying with the law of the Supreme Court of the state of Colorado.
okay. So now we have deliberations. Does anybody have any comments or concerns or?
No.
Pretty straightforward as well. Dan did all the hard work. Thank you, Dan. So I will look for a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Spradlin,
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan,
Yes.
Counselor Scalise,
Yes.
Counselor Horton,
Yes.
Counselor Skiles,
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. Okay, so now, this will be our second reading, so we'll be looking for a motion to approve on second reading. You'll have to read the entire title.
I move we approve on second reading ordinance number 919-26, an ordinance amending section 1-4-20 of the Brush Municipal Code to limit the penalties imposed for non-felony criminal violations to the maximum amounts provided for identical violations under Title 18 of the Colorado Revised Statutes. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Quinlan?
Yes.
Counselor Skiles?
Yes.
Counselor Horton?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. All right, that motion passes. All right, we've got some proclamations to do. First, we've got proclamation in recognition of National Police Week. Who do I have for that one?
That's me.
Okay.
I'm just getting lost there for a second reading this stuff. It's on the agenda twice. I was like, we have another?
Oh.
No, it says public hearing and second reading, and it was throwing me for a loop. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
It's small text.
It's tiny. It's not your fault.
Okay. To recognize National Police Week 2026 and to honor the service and sacrifice of those law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our democracy. Whereas there are more than 750,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the 14 dedicated sworn members of the Brush Police Department when fully staffed. Whereas approximately 55,000 assaults against law enforcement officers are reported on average each year, resulting in more than 16,000 injuries. Whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, more than 24,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty. Whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial, which was dedicated in 1991 in Washington, D.C. Whereas 111 new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring for those lives lost in 2025. Whereas the number of fallen brothers and sisters across our nation dropped by 25% in 2025 from the previous year. Whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund's 38th Annual Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13th, 2026. Whereas the Candlelight Vigil is part of National Police Week, which will be observed this year, May 11th through 16th. Whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and for their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff. Let us honor law enforcement officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their community or have become disabled in the performance of duty, and let us recognize and pay respect to the survivors of our fallen heroes. Let us appreciate and support the courageous deeds of officers who risk their own lives and well-being every day. Therefore, be it resolved that the Brush City Council formally declares May 11th through 16th, 2026 as National Police Week in the city of Brush, Colorado, and publicly salutes the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation. Given under the hand of the mayor and seal of the city of Brush this 11th day of May 2026.
Thank you. All right, so I would look for a motion for approval on this one.
Move that we approve proclamation in 2026-6 in recognition of National Police Week.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Horton?
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Counselor Skiles?
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. All right, that motion passes. I have a question. Do we do anything locally in coordination with that candlelight vigil on May 13th?
Not typically, no.
That'd be kind of cool. Okay, we have another proclamation in recognition of National Public Works Week. I have
This is proclamation number 2026-7 in recognition of National Public Works Week 2026. To recognize Public Works Week, May 17th through the 23rd, 2026, and honor those serving our community through their efforts in water, wastewater, trash, streets, and stormwater, whereas Public Works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance of sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city of Brush. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without dedicated efforts of public work professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees and at all levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential to our citizens. And whereas the year 2026 marks the 66th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association / Canadian Public Works Association, therefore be resolved that the Brush City Council formally declares May 17th to the 23rd, 2026 as Public Works Week in the city of Brush, Colorado, and publicly recognizes our public works and utility staff members for their hard work. Given under the hand of the mayor and seal of the city of Brush, this 11th day of May 2026.
Very good. All right, I'll look for a motion for this proclamation.
Make a motion to approve proclamation number 2026-7 in recognition of National Public Works Week.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Scalise?
Yes.
Counselor Horton?
Yes.
Counselor Skiles?
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan?
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. All right, that motion passes. The next one we have is proclamation in recognition of National Hospital Week.
So proclamation number 2026-8 in recognition of National Hospital Week 2026 to recognize National Hospital Week May 10th to the 16th, 2026, and to honor the service and dedication of healthcare workers nationwide in our Brush community. Whereas National Hospital Day was created in 1921 as a way to encourage trust in hospitals in the wake of the Spanish flu outbreak of 1918. It was later turned into a week in 1953, coinciding with Florence Nightingale's birthday on May 12th, to honor her role in revolutionizing hospital care in the mid-1800s. And whereas for the past 73 years, hospitals across the country have come together to celebrate its history, technology, and dedicated professionals. And whereas National Hospital Week highlights every hospital, health system, and person involved in keeping our community healthy and providing the structure to deliver health care. And whereas East Morgan County Hospital and its clinics and departments are essential to the Brush community and are trusted to provide top quality care and service. And whereas this week and always, the Brush community extends its gratitude to our community's professionals in healthcare for their dedication and sacrifice. Therefore, be it resolved that the Brush City Council formally declares May 10th through the 16th, 2026 as Hospital Week in the city of Brush, Colorado, and publicly honors the service of healthcare workers in our community and communities all across our nation where health comes first. Given under the hand of the mayor and the seal of the city of Brush, this 11th day of May 2026.
Very good, thank you. I'll look for a motion for this proclamation.
I move we approve proclamation number 2026-8 in recognition of National Hospital Week.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Skiles?
Yes.
Counselor Scalise?
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Counselor Horton?
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. Very good. I'd like to go back and just give an extra shout out to our police department because you guys, they say a lot of things in that proclamation and the things that and we have police on our council as well, and you guys put up and deal with a lot more than most people can even imagine and put your lives in the line of fire every day. So we do appreciate you. All right, we'll move on to finance.
I move we approve disbursements and payroll for April 27th, 2026 through May 11th, 2026, totaling $761,983.19.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan?
Yes.
Counselor Horton?
Yes.
Counselor Scalise?
Yes.
Counselor Skiles?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. All right, motion passes. Move on to staff reports. We'll start with Tyler Purvis.
Good evening again. Just one report tonight. As we talked about it a couple of months ago, and Fire Chief Eric mentioned a bit ago about the energy code update. So by the end of June, we do have to have an ordinance in place. I was hoping to have it on the agenda tonight, the first reading, but we're working with a consultant and they're wrapping up some additional language because we're going to have an ordinance that adopts the 2024 IECC as directed by council previously, as well as the adoption of the Colorado Model Electric Ready and Solar Ready Code. But in addition to that, through an approval through the state office, is we can phase it in over the course of about a year. And so that same night that we do the second reading, we'll have a resolution in which we have the layout of how we're going to actually implement and adopt the different aspects of the new energy code. Since everything at one time is going to be difficult to implement because some of the services just don't exist around here as of yet. So they're giving us basically a year grace period. So with that, I'm jumping the gun a little bit on this, putting the cart in front of the horse, but I know that we're not going to have a meeting because it falls on Memorial Day, but we will have to have some kind of special meeting before the month is over, so we have a 30-day window for the ordinance. That's all we have to do at that meeting. Will just be whoever can come, but I'll let Administrator Torres coordinate that. But that's pretty much it. If you have any questions on that, it's been about a month since we spoke about it. On that note, too, City of Fort Morgan, our building inspector Juan and I, we went to attend a meeting they had with the contractor just to see who showed up and what kind of questions that they had, because they're going in a similar direction, except they're going to do everything 2024 as far as all their code updates. We're going to do just the energy code. So we thought we might be on the same page as them. We'll be on a similar page, not exactly the same county. I'm not sure what they're going to do yet. And then Wiggins, I think they're going to be on the same as us, if I'm not mistaken, 2018 with just the energy code updates. And I say that simply because contractors, when they work in different jurisdictions, they typically just kind of do it across the board the same. But if there's a little bit of differences, that's just something that we'll have to work out and what's required where. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Flex Steiner.
Evening, everyone. Apologies for not making the last couple meetings. First, I want to say thank you again for recognizing National Police Week. I think it can be easily taken for granted having a community and a council that actually backs you up and supports you. I see plenty of things online, and I'm sure Nick does as well, that a lot of communities have a lot of scrutiny and a lot of pushback against law enforcement. So I think it's very beneficial to have a council and a community that actually supports you, to help you if you can do your job. That way you don't feel like you're doing it for no reason. So again, I appreciate the recognition for the Police Week again. First, just a few things. I can't remember if our CSO has started since I've been here last, but we do have 2 CSOs again in place. The training is going relatively well. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but from what I understand, it's progressing. We did hire 1 cadet for the upcoming academy in July. The other one should be testing and stuff and should be done this week, so hopefully have another decision to know if we're sending 1 or 2 in July. So online stuff, flock cameras have been installed in town. If anybody spent any time on Facebook, it seems like our people all over the country had vocalization against that. It didn't seem like a lot here in Brush, but I was seeing people from all over the country hyping things up. So those have been put in place. Not all the cameras are currently installed. There's still 2 more cameras to be done on the interstate area by Maverick and Love, so hopefully we should get those done by the end of this month. We're still in a trial period for them, so right now we're identifying, again, if they're still useful, if they're going to get results that we're kind of wanting to. Obviously, it's a long-term thing to see if they're really going to work out, but right now we're still trialing them. So far, they've done pretty well for intel investigative work for us, so I think it's a beneficial tool so far. Right now we are 3 on light duty. We were 4, but 1 got cleared on Thursday, so I've been covering more patrol, hence one of the reasons I wasn't able to make it a couple weeks ago, and then I was late today because I was helping cover the road. So still trying to catch up on some stuff. E-bikes are still an ongoing thing, so not only do we have e-bikes, but apparently we have some kids using electric dirt bikes instead, so no pedals whatsoever. So we're identifying there are kids on e-bikes riding poorly, and kids riding electric dirt bikes poorly as well. So another thing to kind of take into consideration, my staff is trying to identify who's riding what. E-bikes obviously identified more as bicycles, the same rules. E-bikes we're looking more as mini bikes or tour vehicles that shouldn't be on the roadway. So, but again, when you have a pack of 10 or 15 of them, it's a matter of seeing who's writing what before we can kind of make action, so we're working on that. Facebook thing again, we did have a fairly sizable child sexual abuse material case that was taking effect back in October. It did come back for sentencing. I did post that on Facebook as well. I know there was a lot of community blowback on that one as well. We were happy to see the 6-year community corrections considering what was previously offered, so we were happy to see where it is. Obviously, community sentiment, more should be done, but other things on the DA's office and the court side of things take into consideration for these kind of offenses. So we're glad with the 6 years of community corrections. We think it's a beneficial thing on top of the sex offender registration stuff. So somebody's still being held accountable on his end. Well, his life is permanently impacted for what he took part in. We actually got 4 new fingerprint read scanners from Colorado Bureau of Investigation. So the older ones we had really weren't working very well, so we got those updated for us. So we've just got to get those installed on computers and sent out to patrol so they can take offense of those. There was no funding, anything from us, it's strictly from a grant from CBI. If there's anything else I'm missing. And a feel-good moment. So we had a few members of the police department take part, not this last Saturday, the Saturday before. So the city does offer part of the wellness package to get a membership to a local gym and reimbursement for it. So we actually had 5 members, not me, I was doing my own thing. We had 5 members get together all Saturday to do a workout all together. So they look like they had a lot of fun, if you call it fun. But they look like they had a good time, and it was good to see everybody coming together. I'm trying to do what I can to promote, push for wellness, taking care of yourself, and do those kind of things. It's not always easy, it takes a lot of effort, but it was really good to see people taking advantage of that and coming together and put themselves through some fun. So they had a good time. With that, obviously with all the other Facebook stuff, I figure if anybody has any questions regarding anything, complaints or concerns from constituents that have come up recently.
Just the flock cameras.
Yes.
Can you maybe just reiterate what those are for?
Sure. So they're just an investigative tool. The dynamic that are being presented online is this. This is a means for us to track every citizen in Brush and any kind of traffic whatsoever. It does take a lot of reads. So the cameras do take a picture of a lot of license plates. Right now, the situation arises where it hits on basically wants and warrants. So if a license plate has been attached to somebody with a warrant, it'll alert us and let us know it's there. That has been, by and large, the most common use for us so far. And then it's an investigative tool. Prime example, so today I actually had a female party say she had a unknown vehicle, a brief description of a Yukon or a Tahoe drive by, didn't have a license plate on it, said a guy drove by and wanted to pick her up, said she was going to give her a ride. She kind of got scared and worried, so she called us. This gives me, rather than be having to hopefully go door to door and see if anybody has the cameras, we have these cameras in the area. It gives me another tool to search for that vehicle type, because it doesn't have to be license plates. It can be vehicle description. If there's a bumper sticker or anything like that, the system will let me look it up to see if that vehicle is in the area and gives me another lead to follow up on. So it's primarily an investigative tool. It's not a means for us to keep track on everybody in town. It reads a lot of different license plates, so it's going beyond anything like that.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
So you said they're temporary right now?
What's that?
They're temporary right now?
Correct. So we're in a trial period.
So is that the placements are temporary, like how tall the poles are? Or is that a permanent construction that we're going to try to do?
So part of the trial, if they do become permanent, would likely be where they would place. I think part of the trial, again, is to kind of give an idea of, do we need all of them where they're at, or are they possibly useful in other places? I think we can possibly communicate that as well.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fire Chief Yurick.
Just a couple items tonight. So the Timberwolf was delivered last Monday. So we're in the process of going through in training on it and getting it outfitted with equipment. Hopefully it will be in service by the end of the month, first part of June. We will go out June 8th through the 10th for final inspection on the tower. Hopefully it will be delivered before the 4th of July. And then we will have in-service training and get all the equipment moved over on it. And then get the old ladder truck listed for sale. Let's see, fireworks are in, so hopefully we get some moisture and we can have our fireworks show for the 250th. I know Rodeo Board has something special planned with the fireworks that night, so looking forward to that. Other than that, that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next vote. Director of Community.
Just a couple things. First, I set a flyer there for the several meetings that we've got coming up. Been getting a lot of requests for pickleball courts, and so just thought, we do have the new park going in, but we also, I drove around over by Sunset basketball courts. Those used to be tennis courts, and we converted them to a 3 basketball. It would be very easy to eliminate one of the basketball courts and put a pickleball right inside there. It would be really cost effective too, and it seems to be a growing trend, which also, I have a flyer here, which if anybody's interested, on May 28th, we're going to be offering a pickleball class for people that just wants to learn, more for beginners than everything else. And then we're hopefully gonna have a league inside the schools this summer. But the pickleball meeting, there is a lot of people that are asking about it. I think they're doing it at a lot of different churches right now, so we're going to listen to them and see what we can do. The very next day, we have a dog park discussion. That's the other thing. When we started building that new park, we eliminated the dog park, and it was used quite a bit. We will have maybe some extra space over there, and just want to get people's feedback and ideas on things that could go into the dog park, size, that sort of thing, and just start getting the ball rolling on that project. The big one is the new pool, May 26th. We're going to have that over at the golf course at 6 o'clock, and it's going to be open to the community to just start getting the ball rolling. That's a major money item, which will take resources that are outside the city scope at this point. So it's something that we need to really get the ball rolling if we're going to start pushing forward with that. What's great about our situation is that our pool is still in pretty good shape. However, Yuma, they thought they were in pretty good shape, and then it shut down, and they were without a pool for 2 years, and they ended up, basically having to go to Sterling or to Ray to use a swimming pool. So we're going to try to get the ball rolling there and get a committee put together, and hopefully, if everything goes well, 2027 might be a target date that we ask the public for funding maybe. And then finally, our active older adults. Every one of the meetings, I think people are looking for a walking group, especially within our group there. That's for the active older adults. Not so much. I mean, it's healthy. It's exercise, but also it gives people some camaraderie and another activity that they can do outside. And now that the school district has allowed us to use their indoor track facility, we're able to use that, and then soon we should be able to use the outdoor walking track too, once they get all their locks and everything put in. So just a few meetings that are coming up, so hopefully we'll be able to report a little bit more on that middle of June or so. And then I wasn't at the last city council meeting, but I did read the notes and the sign that's outside the museum. I looked and I looked and I looked, and what I should have done was just ask Loranda, because she found it in about 3 minutes. So I was happy that she was able to find the documentation. It was something that was put in place in 1999. I finally got a hold of somebody from the Colorado Historical Society who was in charge of that, and they basically said that was a gift to us, and that they're not going to replace it, but we could apply for a grant that could put a different type of sign there, but it wouldn't be the same sort of sign. So anyway, I got most of that news today, so I still am going to be looking into it and talking to the other partners that were in there, because there was CDOT, Division of Wildlife. There were several partners in the project, but the Colorado Historical Society, who was the one who actually placed the sign, basically said thanks, but no thanks. So, so we'll see what happens, but I didn't realize just how bad that sign had gotten. I mean, you can barely read it in a lot of spots, so we do need to do something about it, so we'll try to address that in the coming months. So, that's all I got.
You mentioned outdoor walking track. Is that at the school or?
Just the track itself.
Oh, okay.
Just the track around the football field. They're going to be coming up with similar type fobs like they have for the school if you want to use them to get inside there. And then people will be able to go in there in the mornings or when there's not a sport going on and utilize the walking track. So.
Okay. Cool.
All right, that's all I got.
Thank you. Chris Foster, Finance.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This evening in your packet was the 2025 budget to actual end of year financial report for the city of Brush. Note that this was is an unaudited report, as our audit is scheduled for the first week in June. So I just wanted to go over a few items. I'm going to touch basically the general fund and then our business activities, our enterprise funds. The revenue in our general fund is driven by property taxes, sales and use tax, along with intergovernmental revenues. Our sales tax revenue received was 25% projected over the 2025 budget, or we received over projected 2025. So we received 25% more of what we had anticipated we would receive. The sales tax revenue is allocated to the general fund, our capital improvement fund, and the fire equipment and building fund. 21% of the sales tax revenue represents online sales. So it's good to see it's incrementally going up a little bit. And we received 91% of our budgeted property tax revenue. So that's down a little bit, but yeah, we'll wait and see once we get all of our year-end accruals finalized with the final audit to see where we do land with that property tax revenue. Overall, the general fund received 15% more revenue than anticipated for 2025. Now, the budget to actual comparison for our expenditures for the general fund, we utilized 96% of our projected budget for the general fund. The driving factors included staffing shortages and overtime expense, unforeseen building maintenance issues, and increased cost of supplies and equipment. So we were pretty tight on that budget. Now we're going to move on to our enterprise funds or business activities, and they held their own this past year as well. With water revenue, our water sales, which included unmetered, metered, and the related fees, recorded was 5% over our anticipated revenue for 2025. The water expenditures were 54% of the budgeted expenses, and this is because we did not start the construction of the new RO facility. For trash and garbage, the revenue recorded was 7% over budget. And trash and garbage utilized 95% of their budgeted expenses. A driving factor was the necessary expenditure for repairs on the equipment. That's why we have a new trash truck. Our wastewater revenue recorded 11% more than the anticipated revenue. And we utilized 46% of the wastewater budget. And the variance is due to the large capital dewatering project not starting during this budget cycle. Stormwater recorded 35% more than was anticipated. And they utilized 91% of their budget. There again, a driving factor was the necessary expenditure for repairs on equipment. With our golf fund, the revenue recorded was 2% over budget. This does include the annual internal fund transfer from the general fund. With the golf fund expenditures, we are anticipating meeting the budget at 100% this year. The driving factors are grounds and building maintenance and continued increased costs of supplies and materials. So, turning to the cash balance report at the very end of your report, it provides a clear picture of how our cash flow supported our expenditures throughout this budget cycle. The year began with $11.2 million in cash and cash equivalents and ended up in a strong position at just over $11.4 million. overall, the city's cash position and the reserves remain stable as we move in and through 2026. So we are in good shape. I am concerned as we look at the expenditures that we're meeting close to that 100% budget usage, that we are seeing the cost of materials, fuel, maintenance work, everything is just starting to incrementally increase. So we need to be aware of that. There were some areas too, as well as we saw utilities and insurance as well. So we want to continue to monitor those expenditures as well as being conscious of the revenue that is coming in, especially with the general fund, since a lot of our funds come from intergovernmental revenue, including highway user tax, severance and mineral. So we're going to also be aware of what's happening at the state level with their budget and their budget crisis, because it does trickle down to us as well. So those things we'll continue to monitor. So do you have any questions in regards to these financials?
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It is, but we are in good shape.
Yeah, it looks like
So
it.
we're still on the plus side. So as long as we're not in the red, we're doing well.
Very good.
Yeah, so one other item to share with you all, we have a new team member in finance. Jaylene Perez Vargas started today, and she will serve as our payroll technician. So she is a citizen of Brush, and so we're excited to have her on our team. So hopefully get her in place and get her trained well, and I'll be able to get back to my position here and serving you all in finance and presenting you with more financials in a more timely manner. So other than that, do you have any questions for me? Anything else? Great, thank you.
Come back, Victor.
I have nothing for you this evening.
All right. Lorinda.
At last meeting, I began reporting on the transfer of the liquor license to new ownership at Eastside Liquor. We have since issued a temporary permit, and the state is going through processing that application at this time. The temporary permit is good for 120 days. Should the state not complete their processing of the application at that time, we can extend under certain circumstances. So I look for that to be pretty smooth, actually, but I'll update as soon as there's any further information. And then just a reminder that the CML District 1 spring meeting will be held here in Brush on the 21st. And we have a good evening planned, so whoever can make it, I think we have additional RSVPs from last meeting, several staff, so anybody who would like to attend, there's still time, even past the RSVP date. We do have a cushion there if any other council members would like to jump in on that. And I don't have any updates on any other projects, so that's all I have for this evening, unless there are questions.
Good, thank you. Our City Attorney Dan Krob.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have anything to report tonight, but I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
Do you have any questions for Dan?
Nope.
Nope, you're off the hook. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, guys.
All right, City Administrator Monty.
All right, a few items. First one, the power block here in town, the cogeneration plant, natural gas fired facility. A portion of that plant has new ownership now, and I'll be meeting with them on Wednesday. The purpose of the meeting is to just introduce each other and get to know a little bit of background, but also talk about potential land transfer that council's talked about for a while. And then also a utility agreement that needs to be renewed. It's 20 to 30 years old, and it's close to expiring, and so we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then as soon as I get more information on those two items, I'll bring that back to the city council. The other good news is our water supply right now. We're still looking pretty good. We talked about potential water restrictions. The crews went out, they looked at the well fields, and there's nothing very alarming. It's just something that we're going to keep a very close eye on for the short term. And then Dell was going to work on some public announcements for conserving water at this point in time and give some tips on how to conserve water for the community. But We're going to keep a very close eye on that, and every 2 weeks our crews will go out there and do depth reads just to make sure everything looks good for us throughout the summer. And let's cross our fingers for some more rain. We had some nice rains here recently. Just need one of those every week moving forward. Dale mentioned the spring cleanup went very, very well, and tremendous amount of trash and debris picked up. And so that's always been a really good community service that we do. And that's a combined effort between our solid waste department and our public works department, street department. They all work together because it takes all of them to move that much material. The other thing, Dell and I, he and I did not have a chance to get together today, but starting tomorrow, we'll start doing a hard push on the South Platte Solar. We have a few items that we have to discuss on that and solidify very quickly, because after this week, I'll be out for a week, so I'm trying to get that shaped up as much as I can beforehand. And just a reminder, I'd mentioned that before that's finalized, I would bring that back to council one more time to run it by the city council. And, oh, we had the Makers Market? Is that what it's called? Morgan County's Makers Market downtown underneath the city lights. And it was a little smaller than what I thought, but I thought it's a good start. They're working towards making something a lot bigger. So that's very positive to see some things happen there. And then there's a few discussions of a couple other very unique events that we're going to potentially get to this year still for underneath the lights downtown. A couple different events. That's all I have.
Very good. Thank you. Mayor and council reports. Does anybody have anything for tonight?
Nothing.
I don't think I do either. Chief answered my questions. So if we don't have anything, I would look for a motion to adjourn and move into our work session.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, we're adjourned.
Loranda, did you have copies of the petition? Can you just run off seven, eight of them?
I need to get us off of
Try to
Thank you, Rebecca. Have a good night.
Nice to come out and see all of y'all in person.
Yeah, we appreciate you. It's good to see your face.
Yeah, absolutely. And being here like once or twice